Well, I usually make Movember campaigns, so I couldn't help but put a Movember picture of myself there, even though we're now into January of the new year. But I wanted to do a product endorsement, which isn't usually part of what I do, but I think this is just a really extraordinary product for people that do have autism or dyslexia or ADHD, have trouble focusing, and it could be really helpful. And the product is, and I just had to look up the video, it's Kaiko Fidgets. I believe that's how you say it, based on that young man who's a little older now. I was watching the Sunrise interview they had with Kai and his mum, and so I just came across these because I used to find my own toys, different things. Being someone with ADHD, I've got developmental trauma, got myself into recovery early in life, but have always noticed that you're forever managing the symptoms of PTSD from complex childhood abuse, and I've gone down that path of looking for natural remedies instead of chemical sort of support, although I certainly have no opinion on that if that's what's helping you out there with these developmental trauma symptoms, then so be it. But I really love these products. So I'm going to show you a couple. There's pictures of them there because I thought I don't really do unboxings, but I thought I will show a couple, but I'll read the benefits of them. And this flyer is something that they do send out. You get a lot of these. They send these out, and I'm going to make them available for clients. I've used these with clients, and especially with high stress or developmental trauma or betrayal trauma. I've used them in disclosures, where people can have them to help them stay focused when they want to disassociate and disconnect. And so I did sort of highlight on that flyer some of the things that they say on here. So it's good for supporting mental health and reducing anxiety. Like I said, literally, and I do full disclosures for sex addiction and betrayal trauma. I remember having one of one of my adult ones, which it comes looking a lot better than this with foam, and but I just sort of put this on the table, and the woman who was very traumatized would use a lot of the different whether it be I love this is one of my favorites, and I think Kai made them as a boy because at school when he used sort of toy-based fidget spinners, from the interviews he's saying that he was ridiculed and made fun of, and I suppose I like the fact these things are quite heavy and solid. You can really feel them, and they also don't make sort of a lot of toy-like noises. They're very silent, and so. And there's a variety of different things. There's ones you can get, these caterpillar ones as necklaces, and they're really just texturally in the hands, very soft. It all moves. So this idea of supporting mental health, reducing anxiety, emotional regulation. For anyone that's got developmental trauma, there's a tendency to disassociate. These things can be very grounding, and they sort of seem to serve different functions. So I will try to stay focused and read through this, and then do the show and tell. So focus and concentration, great for study or work tool. I know for me, I do a lot of counselling now online in this format. When I'm in the room and engage with someone, it's a lot easier to stay focused. When you're online and when you can sort of drift a little, I find that having these things here that I can just play with, or attending 12-step meetings of different things online, really good to keep me focused and not wanting to multitask. Hand function, improving fine motor strength and circulation, managing stress. Some of these ones here I really love around managing stress. I'll show those in a second. Active listening can increase your focus and intention. So like I said, in counselling, having ADHD, and that when I want to drift, it's much better that I can be using something that keeps me centered. Reducing unhelpful habits such as nail biting, smoking, tapping, hair twirling, pen clicking, leg bouncing. So having something and really put your energy into, and harm minimization by providing alternative source of intense sensory input. And they're one of my favorites, right? So I will let me show you a couple. I'll just see if I can go back to a blank screen here for a sec. Oh no, I've gone the opposite of a blank screen. That's okay. Let me turn the slideshow off. That's what I want to do. So I'll show you a couple of things. that one there that talked about the spiky stuff, it's an interesting thing. This is a wrist bracelet you can sort of put on, and it doesn't harm you, but it does create that it's sort of spiky. It's and I could also find this one is soothing too, and at times it's one you can carry with you on your wrist. And they have little ones. They all come nicely packaged, but I bought a couple of these. I bought the sort of adult sort of kit, the Works kit, and really loved it. And I also, when I bought the it had the metal spinner, so I really loved that. And then I went back after Christmas, and in this is all sorts of these fidget spinners that are very they're weighty, and they don't really make sounds, and there's a variety of different things that spin and texturally, it's just really well made, really solid. Different things that keep your fingers active and moving and focused. So they use a lot of bike chain parts and just stuff that keeps your hands busy, and you can sort of carry them with you. One of my favorites was this ring. Ring. I use it as a ring, and it's got a lot of. If I can show, really, it's got a lot of. It all moves, and you can rolls really nice again for that stuff in your hand, just creating a sensory sort of soothing experience. And you can also use it just as a this. Touching it, and you can then just cart it around. You have it with you, right? And that's what I like about this setup. If I'm going on New Year's Eve over Christmas, I just took this with me the way it was. And but the other one is like the wrist one. They make these tiny finger ones. Silver one might see a little bit better on this backdrop. And they're an odd and weird one, because you can just sort of, again, a bit self-harmy, but in a very controlled and soothing way. It doesn't hurt you at all. It just gives you that sensory input of, again, you could sort of probably cut it with you, although it's a little bit tight on my fingers because my adult hands, but I carry them with them in my pocket. And again, ones that you can move in your hands, I find I have a habit of doing that, or I would also just roll them up and down my fingers. And again, if I'm talking, no one, especially if I'm doing online work, trying to stay present in a conference or webinar, these things are all things I can do out of view. Some new stuff I got the other day that's really worth showing, because I just really loved them. I thought I really love the look of this particular fidget. It's like a fidget spinner. It all unscrews, and you can take it apart if you like, but just the weight of it's very weighty and heavy, good in the hand, and just it sort of feels just so solid. And for adults, I just think for men, teenagers, no one's going to make fun of you for having this, and if anything, it'll create curiosity and conversation. And because I really did like in the Works kit, they had one of these small ones that comes like small fidget spinners. I just ordered a few more that are a little larger and a little bit different to create options, and also to have a little one. I'm going to have some available just for clients, and then I can keep my stash just for me. In this COVID world that we live in, that seems to be a good choice, I figured. I also got, just because I really love the touch and feel of the, where is it? I can't find it now, of that sort of oil slick spinner. I noticed that they had a sphere spinner, which I think is really cool. Again, really weighty, and there's a nice weight and heaviness to it. It's so well made, caught in my dungarees. So well made, and all of it spins, the whole thing. It's sort of everything. These move, all the little discs move, and I just think this one's really interesting and curious, and again, something that you can just play with and move, and soothing, and keeps you focused. They sent me this one, which was cool, because this was my second purchase, and I spent quite a lot because I just love the product. And it's an infinity hand roller, and they weight them differently, so you can get different weights. Again, good for men. This one's quite heavy. It's 305 grams, so it's a hand roller. But I've also found that I've got a habit now of just if I'm doing a session under the, just as I sit here under the desk, this one I like that. It's soothing and really texturally feels solid, and then there's this one where you can just twist it in your hand. So I really love this product, and it comes in a great case if if you're a traveler or you really had to go to conferences or something. You could, any of these, you could whack together your own little kit and take it with you, so you can just stay focused, especially if you're someone whose focus drifts. And then the last one, I've bought a lot of those squishy balls, and especially ones with balls in them. They always fall apart. I think my wife's just about to send one back. I bought a big one, and they just fall to pieces because they're made as a toy, right? But I love these. I ordered these. They're a hand exerciser egg-shaped stress balls, and they have 3: soft, medium, and firm. And we'll throw that packaging out because now I just want to keep them on my desk. But yeah, I just think they're the perfect size for your hand. Different textures, and this one's the soft one. The hard one I really like. It's got a great firm sort of texture, and so just to be able to have a variety of things, because I also get bored. If I've got some old things here that I use, wooden hand roller and even a rosary thing, a prayer bead, and they're all great. But these, I just love the fact that I can keep them here on the desk, out of sight. And if I'm doing this, or if I'm sitting with a client today, and I'll grab something, I'll grab I think I had that and one of these today. As I was sitting there, and the black one, this stress ball, I was just sitting on one of those chairs behind me, had these on the desk, and every so often as I'm sitting there, I will just grab one of these and push it up and down my finger, and really non-intrusive, and really helps you focus. So look them up. They're Aussie company, family run, handmade. Doesn't get any better. I got a lovely personal note. This is just something that I just thought was awesome. It just said, "Dear Steve, so appreciate your trust again. Had a good look at your website, and what an amazing service you provide, and they threw in a hand roller. I think it's going to be great for your clients, and so just wonderful that you got in the world of big companies and impersonal service. If you're seeing this from anywhere, because I know that YouTube you can see these things from anywhere, but I can't recommend these guys more highly. I just think it's awesome. And if you've got ADHD, and no matter what other remedies you're using, autism, or you've got a child that's suffering, check it out. The website's really cool. They've got some great videos on there, and I'll try and maybe I'll put the website link on my YouTube page, so people that maybe are interested can follow this up. And with that, I think I'm done. And again, really think it's a good product, and check them out. Bye.